Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Red Devil Collective. Been a while. We've been gone for a while. Games until this weekend. Actually, no games until a lot going on. And related Manchester United, everything from our owner things, insensitive remarks, I guess you can say. Manager searching. Some managers themselves out. Apparently, why don't we get into it? Let's talk about Ratcliffe. I won't call him sir. But very insensitive remarks, colonizing, talking about stuff that as an owner you should not talk about. Make comments about meanings. That's want to talk about that, and you got to distance yourself from the club and not be a part of it. Has to then put out a statement saying that the club doesn't pay, and those are words of one person who happens to be your own. Very bad look. Kind of leave it at that. Not into you. It's tough for me to talk about, but I can talk about having a leader of a country has a big mouth. A lot of times that populace. I understand it, but this day and age, even older elder statesmen make some bad choice. So we'll end it on that. But I have some talking points like our manager, team tactics, starting 11, and some of our transfer targets that we're talking about. Let's start with the managers. I've been waiting and listening to everything said. Who could be world class manager of the money. Look elsewhere. That being said, in the past, we've Thomas Tuchel taken his name out, gotten a new contract with the FA, got an extra 18. The English national team. Congrats to him, but I think part of that is FA is just trying to silence the silence everything around the upcoming. They don't want during the World Cup there be this going to go to contracts up World Cup. This or honestly, I think they did it, but I think if they really wanted him, got lost it or nobody was. And let's look at Thomas Tuchel falling out with almost every club board that he's. PSG had a fall. Chelsea had a fall. He's a guy that likes to have control. A guy that likes to say, "This is what I want, what I need." That's not how we operate anymore. Whether that's right or wrong, another debate. But I really don't see someone like Fox who have input on how the team and you know and so forth. Cox has known that already. Will Wilcox take a back seat to Thomas too? I don't think. Why would he? He's got the title that it Ash's badge, I guess. And then Carlo Ancelotti is taking his name out. Kind of happy with. Rate him the manager that we now. I think he's already made team. And that moves us on to there was rumors that powers to be went and had a meeting with his agents and entourage and and done well at PSG, bought the Farmers League. PSG have all the money in the go ahead and buy who they want. I don't know if he's the right fit either because we've clamored for the fact that we need to play the United way. What the United way is. Why would we then go get no affiliation or idea plays a way that doesn't what we are and what we want to be. And again, he's another person that wants to have get this said person that said target. I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can rule out job that Michael can use show that he can do the job. I think he surrounded himself with very capable assistants. Had a lot to the mix. Johnny Evans that have been at the club, not Steve Michael Carrick himself, Johnny Evans himself, that understand the club, that understand the ties, that how we need to play and what we. I think he's simplified everything for everybody. He's made everybody been able to play a lot free, a way, a lot more, a lot more ability to express themselves, show what they can do, how they can. He's brought Kobe Manu back in again because playing with a midfield three now, playing well next to Casemiro. He's been playing better than he was playing before when Amarin was around and he rated one. I think some want to forget even stuff with Amarin that out. I've been very happy with the way Michael Carrick has shown himself and the way he's gone after games and not just making a substitution when we're one nil down, substituting a center back. Some odd reason. I like how he has gone after games. He's taken offensive. Now is he the guy for the job? Putting his best foot forward, putting it out there. Other than that, I mean, who else do we want? Are we a team right now that's ready for a world class manager? I have to say, have that, have that. We don't have that team right now. We don't. We barely are together in midfield. Besides Bruno, and we have a Bobby Manu that is playing really well, but that's not a stout midfield. That's not gonna be world class. That's world class manager is not gonna want to come to United right now. Not with everything that's honest with you. World class manager is not gonna want to listen to what Jason Wilcox wants to tell him. They want to come in and mold the team in their image, how they want to play, how their managerial style is, and I think we have to begin that. So start to hear and listen to all this cannon fodder about this manager, that manager. I don't know if I don't know if he can really listen and all that be true. Well, another name that pops out is Nagelsmann, new age manager, young manager. You know, didn't have a great stint at Bayern Munich. Done well with the German national team. Never had any Premier League. Never played in a Premier League. Never. Can I say he understands it? I say that 100%. No. Does he make tactical changes? Have a good stint at Bayern Munich. That's 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 hard. That's hard to swallow. That's a hard pill to swallow. Why all of a sudden would he want to be there? I know Christian Vivell has a long-standing relationship with him. That's great. And they may like to bring more German players or players from the Bundesliga too. United to be on the squad, and that could work to our favor. It could also backfire to our. Tried that with a couple different people. Aiden Sancho out, Marcel Sabitzer really didn't work out. You know, so I can't say that now Sesko started to work out. I mean I could so I mean, you give and take with that, but I honestly I don't know. I have a feeling in my mind's eye, that everybody's grooming in the boardroom. Give the job to Michael Carrick, because I think someone. Oh, I think he's someone that the board can say, "Hey, we're gonna buy said player that we want our reasons. We're gonna have to make will because he's still aspiring to create a better seat for himself as manager." So I really think that I think the writing's on the wall. We just don't want to see it. I really think as a club and where we sit, I don't know many world class managers that would want to come unless you want to do a retread of a Jose Mourinho, and uh if you want to bring back or if you want to go after Antonio Conte, even made some comments about players that have better under his tutelage. I don't know if he's even a guy that we would want that plays the way we want to play. So I think we all need to take a deep hard look and realize that I think it is going to be Michael Carrick unless something major changes. Like if England gets bounced in the World Cup early, maybe they will go after. Maybe the FA will. Okay, maybe we made a mistake. We need to rectify this, and you're not going to be our guy. But then again, guys, we got to remember, gals, my apologies, that plays a three. We just went through that. Everybody's clamoring to play in the back four and plays a three. So how is that going to fit? How are we going forward? So I think, guys, we just kind of have to look at the writing on the wall. In that transition, our next topic would be tactics. Well, what are we? What style are we? Our best. What's our best formation? With the team that sits now, I think our best formation is the four hybrid, so forth, because I think that brings our players. It puts more players that are round pegs in round holes than it does when playing under Amarin, which I was a fan of. Not gonna lie, but it puts players more in their natural position. Then again, as we have to realize, displacing some other players. You know, so I mean, as far as team tactics, what are we? We're attacking team that doesn't at this moment in time that doesn't need high possession. I don't know what to do with high possession. We're a team that sits in a little bit, stays compact, but then springs out on the break and scores goals, and then you have spurts of brilliant possession. Since Eric's been brilliant football, and made some string of passes that we didn't see at all, to be honest, and that's very telling. But and just how we play triangles and moving the ball and doing it quickly, and and everything. I think that as time comes, we'll see more of that. But we saw against West Ham, when teams want to sit in, we had some trouble. Which, let's be honest, want to sit in, a lot of teams are going to have trouble. It's not just going to be us. So we tactically, I think Michael Carrick has done a wonderful job with his substitution. How he's gone after games, how he has positioned. Now against West Ham, I thought maybe there's a critique to be had with. I know you don't when you have the starting 11, you don't oh, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So at the same time, I think knowing when you're going into West Ham to London Stadium that you're gonna sit in, you're gonna wait and go out on the break with Jared Bowen counter. That I think you play a different way, meaning having Mbumo up top and having the free flowingness and trying to break, having all that. I think there's I cried out for I know cried out for Sesko to start because then we can serve balls. Came on later in the game when we were serving balls. Tried he got on one that scored the equalizer, but he was trying to get on, and then when I think the change would have been in my mind that Sesko wasn't working, and then you change into moving Mbumo or Cunha or someone up top and being a little bit more free, try to change the game in that manner after you've already beat them down with crossing ball. A 6'5" guy that's probably bigger than any center back that they have go win ball on a cross, which he has shown that he can do. So, tactically, I think we missed on that one, but I think what we are is a team that needs to. We'll have our possession in spurts. Never gonna. I mean, and some teams will dominate possession, but I don't think we'll dominate possession style. Honestly, I think our style is you got to play through the wings. You got to bring the ball down the wing. You got to put crosses in or pull it back to the oncoming. Make the cross, the low cross to the striker, to number 9, to Sesko or Mbumo, whoever. Look to the back post and play across back. You know, and everything. I've liked what we've seen. That kind of moves. Kind of alluded to it already, but I have a problem with our starting 11 because I know everybody wants to play with the back four. Now that we went out and recruited and we went out and bought Cunha, went out and bought him, boom, went out and bought, and everything like that. Go to a putting Inu and Casemiro in the midfield with one of them behind the striker, and then you have your two wingers. But now we don't have a left winger. We have two right wingers. Because Mbumo plays right wing, can play the 9, which we played mostly as a winger when he came from Brentford. Then we have Ahmad that plays on the wing. We don't have a left winger, and now that displaces Mason Mount. Who does Mason Mount come in? Play on the left wing, play on the right wing, or does he come in and take Bruno off at times, which is the best player and probably players in the moment? So now Cunha's playing out of position. Cunha's a 10. Brought him in to play a 10 with Mbumo behind the striker. So, where does this leave us? I'm not saying that our starting lineup is awful, but I understand. A lot of people are in on Cunha. Oh, he didn't play really well. He didn't this. He didn't that. And you guys understand he's playing out of position. He doesn't like the. Not a. I'm not going to say like it, but not a true winger that plays out wide, that cuts in and everything. He's the guy. Him the ball and he makes it happen center of the park in my mind. And so we have to understand that that kind of goes to where are we going to go next? Transfer targets and transfer. I just think that very hard for us to go after transfer. What manager are we going to have, and how do they want to? If you're bringing in someone from the outside, meaning listen, Thomas too, especially one that if you bring in one that's not World Cup, but now you have to let that be known before because you guys have to collaborate on a scheme, on a tactic, on a style of play. Who do you want? What target? What left winger do you want? What right winger do you want? What other holding midfielder do you want? Want more of an Elliot Anderson? Want more of an Adam Wharton? More of a Baleba? More of a Stankovic? Want more, Angelo Stiller? what type of players do you want? Because how are we ever going to be successful if we bring in a manager that plays a certain way, that likes a certain type of player, but we buy the exact, makes no sense. We can't do that. How do you develop a plan unless you're going to bring in a yes man, meaning a guy that just comes in and goes, yeah, I don't care what, I'll just make it work, and it is what it is. Then the manager has the moment to say, hey, I didn't really have any influence on what players brought in. I kind of got stuck with these, and everything like that. So I mean, that's the dysfunction of what we're going to experience, and I'm scared of. That's why I think the writing on the wall with how well Carrick is, all gratulatory praise to Michael Carrick. I mean, he's done a job in the last 8, 9 games where, you know 7 games that he's shown, he's formidable. Didn't do a job. Now, no one knows if a manager comes in if he can sustain that. I've seen this before, not only with our club, other clubs where manager comes in, everything's great for 6 months, great for 8 months, and the next 6 months after, first 8 months, goes down the tubes because he loses the locker room. Things fall on deaf ears. Everything seems issue, and he's pissed off this player, pissed off that player, and that player doesn't want to play, and that player is not getting enough playing. I mean, that can happen to any manager guy. You have to understand. Eric brings aura of what we were as managers. We're always going to be in the game. You never know what you're going to get. Know, meaning, never know what you're going to get in a good way of, we're always in the game. We're always going to push for the game. We're not going to just sit back and say, "Oh, we're up 1-0. We're just going to sit in and ride this out." No, we're going to go out and get a 2-0 win, nothing win. Or if they get one back, then we're going to go out and win the game 2-1 or 3. I think I think we have to honor that to be successful to the window, well before the window, knowing what we're going to do. Because we've talked on parent channel, the United Community Channel, that we had problems with the summer transfer window, meaning we were waiting too long. Weird thing is, we had a manager already, so knew what we were kind of style of play you were going to play. You knew what the manager said. It seemed to be the wrong system. You know what system that he wanted and what he was doing. How are you going to go into a transfer window without a manager already and get what we expect to get? This doesn't make too much sense to me. It doesn't. And the transfer targets: Elliot Anderson, Adam Ward, Labas. Those are the big three right now. I myself, Elliot Anderson fan, but let's look at it before we get to that. Look at the outgoings. Let's just, on basic premise, say Bruno stays, Casemiro leaves, Ugarte gets sold. Now you're down 2. You have Bruno and Kobe. You know, let's just go one by one. Elliot Anderson, brilliant footballer. Do I see him as a 6? I see him as more of an 8, box to box mid. Can he play the 6? Yes. Do I see a out and out 6 as a like for like placement for Casemiro? Don't. Do I think he's a wonderful footballer and would I like him on? Yes. But I think he's someone that get more of a 8, more of a box to box instead of one that sits in front of the center back. And that goes the same for Adam Ward. I know the Palace has not been doing well, and that kind of whole dysfunction of that whole club kind of could kind of take the shine off the toy. And Adam Ward, always a good player and everything like that. But again, I have to ask, what besides what does he offer that hasn't already? I don't see it. I mean, I've been wanting Kobe Manu to be, even under Amarim, as in the showcases. He's done wonderful. Deny that, and he miss his man against Fulham and letting um, let Suchek go. Yeah, he didn't follow his run, but I'm not going to kill him for that because you have a lot of midfielders. Seems to be something that happens to us. Bruno didn't follow his run with uh, or Smith Rowe. Sorry, not Ward Prowse, Smith Rowe. So I can't kill him for that, but I can point out a better. But at the same time, you know, I I need someone Casemiro, offensive stalwart that's going to have our center backs and take charge, stand. And I know that Casemiro has, I mean, in recent games going forward, fine with that. Have the ball. I don't want guys just. I want guys to go lose the ball. They know where they have to, return to, recover to, know where they need to, and how to get there. I don't mind that at all. If you're only going to attack with 5, then we're always going to be hit because attack different positions. That's Casemiro running through on a header. That's Bruno, slicing through on a 1-2 with the striker or the winger. If that's Kobe Minu progressing the ball forward and combination play, you need all of that. That's what good teams are. You don't know where it's going to come from. Do we want a full score? But at the same time, you don't know. Kobe starts the attack, lays it off to Mbumo, score comes for 20. But then Bruno can do, Casemiro can do for deadly. But I digress. But going back, like of those top three, I can't tell you that one is. I would want Elliot Anderson. Leba, I'm sorry, unless we're gonna get him 25 to 35 million, no more than 40, then I would consider him. Consider take consider because form has been that's sub like because he got a yellow card. Awful, terrible, and you can't have that. And I know he's still young. This that leads me down another rabbit hole of Ineos wanting to buy young. I get it. I understand. You can't not players, but understand something else. Young players breed inconsistency. They're young. They don't have experience. Buying 18, 19, 20-year olds, expect them to carry us into sport or keep us in for a league. You're dreaming. Sorry. Don't get me wrong. There's a percentage chance that percentage is low digits, not even approaching double digits. You need senior leadership. I'm not saying you don't buy and the midfield. And could that be Elliot Anderson? Maybe I'm selling very well. But I just there's going to be a lot of competition. Adam Wharton, more progressive midfield. I'd rather keep. I'd rather just. I'd rather Kobe Manu and you buy someone dynamic. I don't think. I think Kobe's fine, and I think that Kobe plug and play at that point. If he has a bad game, he's going to cut. coach loves him, that or something. You know, I've looked at Angelo Stiller from very nice player. Don't know if he's built for but on the small. I watched Club Bruges play today. Tankovic there, like him too, but he's more of a progressive midfielder, more of an eight. Right now, Jack was uh, kid from Wolverhampton. His name's escaping me. More of a attacking player than he. Right now, we need to build our midfield the eight position, not really the 10 position. You guys remember, right? Cunha can play the 10. Bruno's there. Mount is there. Really needed to in a pinch. Ahmad could play. No, I don't think past him, but I still. But then you look at it and you say, okay, you know, no better defensively in the midfield. Get a captain. We, Elliot Anderson popping in my head. I have to do. Problem is, as far as what news is coming out or rumors that are coming out, not many more rumors besides the big three. And I'm sorry if Baleba is picked. Start there, trouble. Defensively, can do a job, but I think he's far enough along offensively to really help us. And we need to pair him, young 21 year old, with Kobe Manu. Game in and game out in the top four. That's going to be awfully hard. Honestly, look target wise, young players, of course, need to buy some players that hold of the game by the scruff of the neck and say, this is how we're going to do this. And this not only have Bruno do that, but offensively, that atmosphere. We need that kind of tension and that buying young all the time is really going to hurt us. Like I said, young players breathe. Look at Lenny Euro. Played wonderfully against fantastic. The games prior to that was a little suspect. Looked a little timid. Looked not like the Lenny Euro that we love. Everything like that. Because maybe he got a little rattled when he got the penalty kick to Crystal Palace, and there got a little timid. Where against West Ham, rock star. You know, so and then we also have to think about Wire stays or goes. Flick's going to be around, but then else breaks again. Going to have Euro, young 21-year-old Jed Evan, who's 19, 19. You can't expect young kids step in stalwarts, carry us through. Nice if they, like I said, we're going to have the mistakes. We're going to have other mistakes, that happen and everything like that. So I think we have to be very careful. Honored, not honored. Stalwart in that we experience. I'm not saying someone that has that's not stepping into their prime, but there 25, 20. Need that right now. Then maybe you buy your 8, sit underneath. Best thing to do is if you bought an 18-year-old like a Baleba that could learn off a Castillo another year, kind of screw the pooch on that, and Castillo's going to. Miracles can happen. Maybe we sign him again at contracts done, but at the same time, Casemiro leaves and Ugarte leaves. Who's going to really teach them besides the coaching staff how this is going to work and the flow and everything like that? So, I really think our targets need to Elliot Anderson be our number one. Even if Force get relegated, I don't. It drops a little bit, but they're not going to be. So, I think that's something to think about. Well, on an ending note, too. I know Jack spoke and wanted to watch the game, and think that something whole racism comments, players, the racist comments. If we're racist, what they was said yet, I speculate by what everybody's talking about. Kill Pape happened. How Vinny Jr. acted. I agree with Jack that if making this rise on, the leg up on, but I do agree with the Jack. Don't go for running to the referee, meaning matter of minutes. Something is not said. What was said? Everybody speculates. It just I don't. Something has to be. Johnny, sorry, you're gonna catch one if this maybe I don't know if bad life is gonna happen. You may be gone for a year. Calendar. This is. I hesitate to say it. Someone may make an example out of somebody. They take the hit, and again, like I said, no room for it. One thing in trash talking after getting riled up and saying stuff, and no room for racist. No room for any of that. Any point, any sport. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna leave you to it, and please like and subscribe, please. New channel, like to get up there in some of the subscribers and so forth, and put it out there, and then I'm always here when Jack isn't watch along, help you guys out, and to the games and everything like that, because we all know that some of you have to listen during the game, not very little biased against us. We like to have fun, so please, guys, like and subscribe. If you have anything to say, just let me know, and then try to hop on again, maybe over the weekend, and or maybe since we don't play till Monday, we'll see what the schedule is, and if there's a certain game that you guys want to watch or that you guys can't watch, and I can do a watch along for you, let me know. We can do, and we'll have some fun with it. Appreciate it, guys. Until next time.